What is Operation Supply Drop? Operation Supply Drop is designed to send video game-filled care packages to American soldiers deployed across the globe, many of them in places where morale-boosting entertainment options during downtime are sorely lacking. Now, approximately 100,000 American soldiers are currently stationed in high-threat locations, and despite major gains against organizations like Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, our military is exhausted. Units are barely done cleaning the sand from their boots before they're deployed to yet another combat zone. And tragically, suicide rates among U.S. soldiers are at an all-time high, actually outnumbering combat casualties in recent months. And while yellow ribbon stickers on our cars and care packages full of cookies and baby wipes are nice gestures, if you ask the majority of these brave men and women what they really want more of, yeah, it's video games. Now, aside from being a welcome diversion from the daily grind, video games have been scientifically proven to help our soldiers cope with combat stress, particularly those suffering post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. In fact, recent research has confirmed that trauma sufferers experience a significantly reduced number of flashbacks while focusing on a highly engaging visual spatial task. Sound familiar? You guessed it, video games. Multiplayer games provide off-duty soldiers a friendly, competitive, social environment, facilitating positive interaction as an alternative to just disappearing back to bunks after long, often highly stressful shifts. Participating in a Guitar Hero competition or just playing a few games of Madden with a buddy can be a great way to help soldiers avoid isolating themselves while thousands of miles away from friends and loved ones. Bottom line, for many of our brave young men and women in uniform, gaming has become more than just an off-duty diversion. Gaming has helped our soldiers deal with combat stresses while simultaneously boosting morale and camaraderie.
I'd like to say thank you. What you're doing is really great. It's boosted everybody's morale. Everybody's been really excited about this.
Paige, what are we doing?
It's going to be a game changer in this deployment. It's going to help it go by a lot faster for everybody.
Really improves morale around here. There's really not
So
much
quiet.
to do besides just either exercise and hang out. Video games
No,
is
seriously,
really
is
the
somebody
best
going to
time.
come in and go, okay, and got 3, 2.
What would
Okay.
you like to say to
I'll stop
Operation
talking.
Supply Drop?
Thank you. This is great. Games, books, Xboxes we can put out in an MWR spot so everybody can enjoy them. I can't say that there is no better gift out here that we've ever received. And that is giving them a piece of home and a way to escape into another world versus the reality they have to live with every day.
I'm video game voice actor Adam Harrington, voice of League of Legends Rise. So let's go, people! Take these games and stick them in the soldiers' hands. Help us give the gift of gaming to the brave men and women a long way from home. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support.
All right, guys. Hi, welcome to Out of the Box. Thank you for joining us. I have with me tonight Steven Machuga, also known as...
Were you waiting for something?
Yes, I was waiting for you to join in.
All right,
Shanghai 6.
There we go.
Shanghai 6. Tell me a little bit about what we just saw with Operation Supply Drop. They saw your video. Kind
Is
of
that what
talking
we were-
about, yeah, that's what they were listening to there and
very
watching.
nice.
So, tell me a little bit about what we just saw there and what you're here to talk about tonight.
Well, we're here to talk about Operation Supply Drop. We are a military gaming charity that is growing steam over the last 3 years. We build video game care packages for troops deployed to various combat zones and humanitarian missions and things like that. And then also working the military hospitals for troops recovering from injuries suffered in those combat zones. So, yeah, that's what we've been doing. Doing this 3 years now, and just cleared $400,000 in games and gear raised for the troops. So we're pushing for $500,000 by the end of the year, and with Veterans Day coming up, we hopefully will get there. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's quite an impressive goal, and it's impressive that you guys are so close, and hopefully we can help you get a little bit closer tonight.
That's
Um,
oh.
yeah, let's fingers crossed. So, tell me about yourself and why you're a part of this.
Well, once upon a time, I used to be in the military, and I deployed forward to Iraq. I several deployments, but the big one was 13 months in Iraq. And when I was there, anybody who's done time in the military or deployed anywhere is familiar with the idea of a care package, which is usually where some nice church group gets together and they slap in some hand knit mittens and cookies and bath soap and whatever. And we got for one of our we were in the middle of one of the hottest seasons of the year, and we were busy trying to take care of the solderists in the south. I was part of Second Infantry Division, and things were just getting nasty and crazy. And we got this huge care package from a library, and we cracked it open, and it was third-hand Harlequin romance novels that they were getting rid of. So that was
Exciting,
good.
huh?
Good for a lot. First off, it was hysterical, and then did end up, as I've been telling people, we did end up getting some use out of them. We used them as for target practice on the confiscated arms range. So anytime we get an RPK or a AK-47, and the guys wanted to light off some rounds, we would use those as targets. So it did end up getting some use, but it was one of those things where I was like, that was a real we've got some real BS care packages before. It's just guys. It's kind of like and I've been using this analogy a lot because I love it because I did it myself. But it's like the 5th grade food drive when you're a kid, and you go into the pantry and you grab a thing of canned yams and there you go, and then you get into the classroom and there's 28 cans of canned yams and you're like, I'm helping the homeless, and it's like, okay, well that's great, but do you really know what you're doing? So not to, and I appreciate what other care package organizations are doing. They do great things, and but there's only so many, baby wipes and foot powder containers and cookies and things like that you can do, and and above all else, I am a gamer at heart. I've been gaming since I could hold a controller in my hand, and one of the things that got me through all 13 months over there was video gaming. A lot of people think war zones are like a Vietnam movie where it's just nonstop action and you're just shooting people all day and you're just getting in shootouts. And it's not like that at all. It is 23 hours and 55 minutes of sitting around not doing anything. And then there's that 5 minute, we're getting mortared or we're getting ready to roll outside the wire and you're outside the wire for an hour or whatever, where things get crazy. And then you come back in, you debrief, you de-kit, you get everything off. And then it's like, all right, I guess we'll go get some chow and then we'll work out. And then we've got another however many hours left. So, and when you're staring at those kind of hours, you know how video games are just a time distortion where you get into a good game. And oh crap, like a Civilization where you're like, all right, just one more turn. And next thing you know, it's Tuesday of next week, and you're like, oh, okay, well I need to go to bed now. Video games has that same effect overseas, and troops need to be distracted over there because they get into mischief. They get bored, they get stupid, they get lonely, they get sad, they think about home, they think about their wives and girlfriends and who their wives are sleeping with when they're not there, and there's a million things going on that they need to be distracted from. And video games helped. It did it for me because I was way deep into I almost bought it on my birthday. I almost took a mortar around the shower hut I was going to. It was June 9th. I'll never forget. The shower hut I was going to got mortared, and the next day I ran out to the Haji shop that we had for our internet access. Immediately purchased the craziest Alienware laptop, the stupid hey, you know what? why would I need to spend $5,000 on a lap? Well, it's like, well,
Why not?
yeah, when you come close to almost buying it, it's like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and And on my birthday, so I was like, I'm treating myself.
Yes.
So, yeah, you know what?
You've earned
I'm not,
it at that
I'm not
point.
using this money for anything else right now. Typical crazy military deployment thoughts. So I went out and got a crazy, crazy Alienware laptop thing, and I spent how I can't even remember, but between the original Far Cry and Elder Scrolls 3, the Morrowind. There it is. And man, that was just they helped get me through, and it was just getting away from everything. So now, flash forward many, many years. One of the guys who was in one of my trucks that we would drive and helping with logistics and things like that. One of the big things when we were over there was, as I was saying, in the South, Solder and his guys, Muqtada al-Sadr, he pretty much controlled most of, and this is getting way deep in the weeds, but one of the guys who was driving my truck got out of the military when I did. We both got out at the same time. And anybody who's gotten out of the military has those pangs because you get out and you're like, woo, I'm out. Thank God, screw that noise. You get out, and then a couple years goes by and you're in the civilian world, and you'll drive past a recruiter's office and you're like, huh, yeah, that's still there, huh? Like, I should, I'll just walk by it. I haven't put on a uniform. I probably couldn't pass a PT test, but I should just go stop in and say, hey, that kind of thing. Like, you get that mindset, like, time has
It's
a way of
lifestyle.
Absolutely. You cannot appreciate it until you're in that mentality where when you get out, it's like being in prison. There, I said it. It is like that mindset where you get out and people who have never done it have no idea what you're saying, and they can't relate to you at all, and you've been shot at and mortared, and you're checking skylines for snipers and RPGs, and it's like, you're worried about Paris Hilton and the Kardashians. You don't even know. Like, you don't know what. So one of my guys in my truck, there we were going. Back to the story. Woo! Back to the story.
We've come full circle.
Full circle. Okay. One of the guys in my truck, he got out. He decided, he bent to not even peer pressure, but he just said, civilian sucks. Civilian life sucks. I'm going back in. He went back in, immediately redeployed to Afghanistan. I was like, oh, Lord. Oh. So he said, all right, well, can you send me some stuff over here? It'd be great if we could get some, just send me a care package or something. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do you one better, because gaming got me through, and he was a big gamer too. So I sent him a huge care package of, I asked around. At the time I was working for an organization called Sarcastic Gamer. And at the time I had made some connections within the industry. Mm-hmm. And so I reached out and I said, hey, we're doing this thing. I got one of my best friends is just deployed overseas, and we were wondering if you could donate some just random stuff or whatever. I reached out to Activision, I reached out to, EA and things like that. And the response was amazing. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the guy, Dan Amrick, one of Swords, Activision's community manager. He's really the guy that got us started, because he sent the most absurd box of stuff to us. It was like 3 full Rock Band kits and like 6 DJ Hero boxes, and it was just like,
wow.
Oh, okay. Like, this is not what I was. Great. Like, this is awesome, but all right. Well, we'll try to figure out. So it was just like, all right, it was just a big ordeal to get it all shipped over, but it sparked something. I was like, wow, that was one guy. I was like, there's something here. And then as soon as it got over there, we started getting pictures back from Jeff and his guys, and they had set up one of the briefing projectors against the side of a trailer, and they were having not Rock Band, but Guitar Hero, like, tournaments against one another. And it was just like one of those, wow, that is amazing. Like, it was just such a great feeling. And then immediately, of course, we started getting, like, everybody in his unit was like, hey, could you go ahead and ask? Like, that'd be great. We could do some of that. And word got out real quick that we just sent him like $3,000 worth of video game stuff. And it was just like, I was like, all right. And it all just came together. It was like I had been wanting to do something to continue to work with troops after I gotten out. I didn't have anything. I went into the military for college money. I got out kicking. It's like you couldn't have got me out of there fast enough because I got stop lost right after 9/11. So I was hell bent to get out of the military. So I wasn't a big military guy, but I want to continue to support the military, and because I know those guys over there are second wind, and they need all the help they can get because they're going to come back home, and life will have continued a full 365 plus days, and it is a jarring experience. Again, the only thing I can think of that would possibly, and having no experience with this, but it would be closest to like a prison. Like you are literally you come back, everything has moved forward, everybody's gotten a year older, you've totally lost that year. You have all these crazy stories, Orange is the New Black kind of stories to tell. Like it's just craziness. So we got to make sure we're helping these guys out while they're deployed forward. So that is what our organization is about. That's where I'm coming from, and that's my piece of all this. And now flash forward 3 years later, and we're just rocking it. We're getting ready for Veterans Day, and hopefully going to be crossing a $500,000 in donations raised. So
yeah, full steam ahead. Let's. I want to see you guys hit that goal. I'm
hoping it's gonna be close. I don't think we're gonna make it, but it's gonna be close. We just got news that that GameStop. There's a region. I wish I knew which region it was, but there's a region of GameStop. There's like how like a city will have like 6 or 7 GameStops.
Yeah.
Like a citywide GameStop push. I think it's in Ohio. They got together. We just found out that GameStop is donating 40 full God of War red PS3s, like the full kit.
Right.
And I mean that's like $12,000 worth of
kit
right there. So I mean we're still working out the numbers, and we're still working out because they said we just got in like 12 boxes of stuff from GameStop corporate that they're donating as an official donation, because a lot of times a lot of these organizations will just slide stuff under the table to us like, don't make a big deal about this, but we're just you go. We have charity. We support Child's Play officially, but we like what you're doing. So here's a little something on the side.
Right. No.
This is GameStop coming out and going, no, we support the troops. We support this organization, and that's big because that's half the battle. Because
absolutely.
Getting organizations to come out in support, it's kind of like the United States standing up at the United Nations and announcing Israel as a state, for the first time. It's like this giant organization, this corporation has stepped up and said, Operation Supply Drop is an organization that we trust, we believe in. We know they're the real deal. They've showed results. They pitched all this information to us, and they're doing good things. It's not just me sitting on all this stuff in my basement as the mess behind me, but it's
a fundraiser in progress.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Like we got a little Rockstar fun right here from little fun from Rockstar. Big thanks to those folks there. But yeah,
nice.
We got they're sending over all kinds of GTA 5 stuff for us. So, but yeah, that's my story.
Wonderful. So, how many different countries do you guys currently ship to?
Well,
or have you shipped to?
First it started with Iraq, and then we stretched out to Afghanistan because obviously those are the big combatant commands. And then Iraq shut down. They shut off mail operations about a year ago, so that was going away. And then Afghanistan was starting to go away. We're starting to wrap that up. We're looking at ceding control over to the Afghan security forces, and fully by 2015. I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it, because those people weren't ready at all. But there's just a point in time. I think we're just saying, "Here are the keys. You got it, right? All right. See you later." I think that's probably going to happen by 2015. So we have had to get creative with how we're doing business, because originally the charity was built around, we want to get games to the guys that really need it the most, like the guys who are in Helmand or Kandahar or places where they're going outside and they're getting shot at every day. Like the objective was to get to as many combat units in combat as possible. And that was the focus. And then we kept getting more and more requests for other places. Like we got the embassy in Ethiopia. Like there was a Marine detachment there, and this was after the Benghazi thing. So I was like, perfect. Yeah, that place could turn into a tinderbox at any minute too. Right on. Because again, any kind of third world embassy, again, you never know when Al Qaeda or Taliban or Al Shabaab is going to step in and just suddenly go, hey, you know what? This embassy's got 12 guards. We got 4,000, Somali nationals. We'll just mass in there. So they're just as much in it as much as any of these other organizations. And unfortunately, they won't know until it's too late. So we wanted to make sure. So we've got, Ethiopia, Kuwait, a lot of humanitarian missions now. We're broadening our expanse. Trying to think, Honduras. We're all over the place now, and also we have started reaching out to military hospitals such as Walter Reed and Fort Belvoir, because what's going to happen is people have already forgotten Afghanistan's a thing. That's just the nature of war, and that there's that first hot year where everybody is talking about it, and then everything just kind of gets forgotten about. And we're in year 11 at this point. I think it's year 11. 12.
12, yeah.
12. So it is way like, oh, Afghanistan, that's still a thing. So we have had to focus our efforts elsewhere because things are starting to wrap up in Afghanistan. So obviously military hospitals, and we started working with them last year, and that was a real eye-opening experience because when we went to the Christmas party for Walter Reed last year, it was a series of we went to the rehabilitation center there at Walter Reed, and it was all soldiers with double and triple amputations, and it was like one of those, oh wow, even myself, even someone who knows about Landstuhl over in Germany, where all the guys go through, and it's just you kind of forget about the wounded. But when I was there and I was taking a tour with the colonel, the doctor/colonel who was walking me around the organization, like there was a triple amputee fresh off the plane from Landstuhl, they wheeled him right by us as we were doing our tour, and he just casually mentioned like he will be here for at least 5 years. It's like, okay, all right. So
yeah,
there is a huge concern where we're going to continue to try to push the wounded warrior side, and I use wounded warriors because obviously so we're a niche organization helping out the military hospitals now. So we've got some pretty interesting plans for 2014. I don't want to talk about them until we are able to get the board together and make sure we can scrape up enough cash to make it happen. And then we want to be the organization that's doing this cool thing. So, but I'm so excited. Like I think 2014 is going to be a big year for us. So I'm just excited. So
yeah, I can't wait to see where it takes you guys. Now you've said that the support that you got initially was just kind of overwhelming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And overall, like you've had a pretty incredible support from the community. What has there been any one or two or several acts that maybe have touched you a little bit more than others, or that have been, an enormous outpouring that you didn't expect, or was it just the entire?
We've gotten some surprises. I'm trying to think. Oh God, yeah, the Wizards of the Coast. God bless those people. So I had been harassing them because Magic cards seems like a perfect pack-in for one of our supply drops.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out of my way and I ran into them at PAX East and I go, this would be perfect. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but Magic cards. Like, we want Magic cards. And they said, yeah, whatever. Sure. Yeah, that's great. And we didn't hear anything back. Didn't hear anything. And just one day, a flatbed truck rolled up in front of my house right out here. And just this guy just started unloading pallets of Magic cards. Like, we're talking like warehouse size, $250,000 of Magic cards. Like, literally just like, was just, where do you want this? And I'm like, do you see where you're this is a residential, there's nowhere, my wife is going to murder me. Like, She already see this. She already
Yeah.
wants very much to kill me on a daily basis with all this. But then it's a charity, so there's only so far she can go with it. Because she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, charity, I hate you." But so, and this is just like a regular, like a mess. But I mean, literally 5 pallets full of magic cards. So, and that was we literally had to send half of them back because it was like there's no
You just couldn't keep
there are
them.
magic cards stuffed away in every single nook and cranny in this house. They're in the garage, they're all over the walls, they're under everywhere. They're everywhere because we don't want to because it's like there's $250,000 of magic cards. We don't want to get rid of them. We don't and we can't. But first off, they're a lot heavier than I thought they were going to be. Like a pack of magic cards, it's like, all right, that's nothing. But when you get
When you get $250,000 of anything.
one of these full of magic cards,
Yeah.
and that's one, and there's 5 pallets worth, it's like, okay, this is going to. And the idea is it's a video game supply drop. This was supposed to be a supplement to it. Like, and so we're trying to put like 1 or 2 boxes in per supply drop, and we'll be done sometime in 2018 at the rate we're going. We'll never have to ask Wizard of the Coast for another donation again. I asked just for shit, for giggles, just for grins. I was like, "Hey, it's Veterans Day is coming," and they're like, "We're sorry, we can't support your organization right now." It was like, perfectly fine, totally understand.
Right.
So that was definitely okay. We've had a lot of close calls. We've had a lot of organizations come in and go, "We're going to donate so much stuff," and then they go to legal and they go to accounting and they go to their budgets and they go to this, that, and the other thing, and they're like, "Sorry, we can't help out." And so I spend like 3 weeks of just going, "This is going to be amazing. Oh my God, it's a game changer." And then you get the word back. It's like, "We're going to have to tailor our donation." Like, and they'll send like a 1/1000th of what they were going to, like they had made
Right.
plans. Like we've got one to give you some idea. And I hope this comes true. Today, there's an organization. It is a Fortune 100 company. And I had to sign an NDA before they would even tell me who they were. They are literally pitching today that they want to send 75 Xbox One and PlayStation 4s to the troops. That sounds
That's
great.
fantastic.
That is a lot of money. That is a lot.
Yeah.
It's literally going forward. Like the meeting happened, and I haven't heard back. So I imagine it's a big fat no because this should have all happened weeks and weeks ago.
Right.
And then be like, we're presenting it today. I'm like, Veterans Day is like 2 weeks away. How are we gonna? There's no way that they're gonna get behind this because there's no media synergy. There's not enough time to like put out good news stories and get the kind of drive they want behind it. But
Right.
that's the kind of like
Yeah.
things that we like. We love what you're doing. We're gonna present this to this organization. We're gonna make this happen. Buckle up because you're in for a ride. Blah 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 blah. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, until it's here, I don't want to hear it. Don't
Right.
tell me about what you're gonna do. Or another great one is when I go to events like E3 or PAX or GDC or any of those. When I go to these events, it's literally just me walking around the show floor with a tin cup going, "Hey, alms for the poor," kind of thing to every booth. And everybody, and we've all done it, where you get somebody in your face going, "Hey, for 6 cents a day, you can feed the homeless in Ethiopia," and you're like, that is amazing. I love what you do. I'll give you a whole $1. Just let me. Do you have a website? I'll go to the website and I'll donate $1 later.
Yeah.
You break eye
It's a brush
contact.
off.
Like, whew. It's like, what were we talking? Like, I'll write them emails. I'll make phone calls of like, "Oh, sorry, we just don't have that $1 slated for this year's budgeting, but maybe hit us again next year. We love what you're doing." It's like,
Yeah.
so
It's
for somebody
bittersweet.
for somebody who was raised as a very independent person who does not like asking for anything, I really should have thought this through. Starting a charity where all I do is ask for things all day long. It's just email after email. "Hey, what can you do? Oh, you've done this. Can you do this too?" And it's just all day long. So I've gotten over that. It's become an acquired taste, definitely.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
man, it's hard asking people for things, especially in this economy.
Hey.
Kidding me? People are just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just nuts. So yeah,
No, but it's incredibly commendable that you spend all of that free time combing for donations for other people. I mean, it's certainly a selfless act, and it's one that you
it's
should be
it's
proud.
changed my life. It started off as like this thing that I did, like, oh yeah, whatever, like, oh, it's cool, I do this, and now it's all I want to do with my day. Like, it's I wake up, first thing I run downstairs, I check the email, like, all right, did we get anything? Has anybody said anything? Or we got any new news stories about us? Anybody want to talk to us? Anybody want to donate something? Anybody, like the GameStop thing is just like somebody goes, I'd like to do this, and it's just over the course of a couple weeks, and next thing you know, we've got 40 PS3s, that are coming our way. So it's like every person, you never know, the people that you think are going to help usually don't. It's those random, like, hey, my brother's uncle's roommate works for Riot Games and he might be able to do something, and then you get $3,000 worth of Riot points cards, and you're like, what? I didn't. So
Yeah.
you have to go after the big wigs, and then you have to shake every single person who has any kind of question, or, hey, I like what you do, and then you hit them like, all right, hey, you like this, all right, we'll add you to the mailing list, we'll do this, let's see what we can do for this, and you never know when that person is like, oh, I talked to this person and he's the vice president of this ad company and they'd like to pitch an ad campaign for you, and it's like, great,
Yeah.
yeah, bring it on. I can't afford your organization. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
so it's definitely, you never know where the silver bullet is. You never know where the big, like, donations are coming in from, and you just got to it is a constant daily email fight every day. So
So definitely a
but
game changer.
I would do this till they plant me handily. Like, it is so much fun. And we're getting to the point again, as I said, $250,000 in Magic cards. The basements are wrecked. Like, it's getting to the point where we're going to need to get some office space and start hiring some people and figuring things out for 2014, because it's not a one-man show anymore. We showed up. We landed on the front page of WTF Army, which is a huge Facebook community, and within a day, we had another 40 supply drop requests, and it's like, we're lucky if we send out 40 in a year. Like 40
Yeah.
in a year, yeah, we do 2 a month. So it's it's just it's one me. This is it right here. So it's
So you are the organization, basically.
yeah, I use the regal we a lot. Like, we would like to talk to you about operations. It's like, this guy. So we see, I did it right there. We are growing. We are growing. we now have a board of directors, and we have a board of advisors, and we have folks who are helping out, and we've got a guy who's working out of Austin right now. Holy crap! This guy, he's me. He's cloned in Austin because he is as adamant. His name's Glenn Ben. And man, this guy is as adamant about the charity as I am. He loves every aspect of it. He wants to eat, sleep, and breathe OSD 24 hours a day, which is amazing. If we had a couple more of this guy, it would go. This would be something. Like, it would not just be this thing working out of my basement. It would be, we're planning on putting a booth together this year for PAX East, and I mean, it's just we're getting to that next level, and it's scary, and it's fun, and it's exciting, and it's terrifying, and
It's overwhelming, I'm sure.
overwhelming. Wife is going absolutely nuts over it, because it's just like taking all my spare. Like, it used to be, I got into this stuff for the gaming. Like, I am a gamer at heart. Like, I should have Batman Arkham Origins done, and I should be sitting down the street at GameStop for AC4 and Battlefield 4 tonight. And I'm like, I barely have gotten into Origins at all, and I'm just like, I don't have time. I just don't. There's no time. If I take that time, that 8-hour experience of me going through the single player of Battlefield right now during the push for our fundraising campaign, the 8-Bit Salute, which we are in full effect right now, that's 8 hours I'm not, like, just banging on people's doors and going, hey, what can you do for us? And what can you want to help the troops? It's Veterans Day. Oh, yeah, you remember Veterans Day, huh? The troops. So it's just a constant. The next 2 weeks is me weighing my free time very carefully. So, such as this interview. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you for carving out the time to see us because I can certainly tell that you're very, very busy, and that's exciting.
Well,
That's
Grievance is one of those crews that has stepped forward and said, "We want to help out. We want to make this a regular thing." And if Grievance is as large as I'm hearing reports of, then yeah, we will. I can absolutely make the time. So I mean, we get a lot of requests for support, and we get a lot of requests for like, "Hey, you want to talk to I'm a sophomore at college, and I'd like to write a report about your organization." And I still do it. I mean, again,
oh
as I
yeah,
said, rule one, you never know who is going to be the silver bullet.
you never know who's listening.
Exactly. And you're right. You never know. It's like, oh, the dean of this college now wants to talk. Oh, all right, now we're talking.
Right.
So you have to give everybody their time. You have to sit down because again, it's one of those things where you have to. It's better to have those requests than have nobody asking for you, nobody wanting to care about your organization. So here we are.
Exactly. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is key. So I hear next year you're changing the date for
Yeah,
Operation
we're gonna
Supply
have
Drop.
to. Extra Life moved their event literally to November 2nd, and for no whatever the hell reason that was for, it's like, oh, you know what is in November? Veterans Day. Great, thanks. So right, y'all don't have any. Really, you couldn't. And they did 2 events this year, so I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
fine, we'll beat y'all. We're doing 4th of July now. Watch, y'all 1st of July. It's like, come on, knock it off.
Well,
Children's
4th of
Miracle
July,
Network.
that's exciting though. Are you excited by this? Do you think it's going to make a big difference in your push, or do you think
We still did a lot for 4th of July this year, but making it the focus for the year versus Veterans Day, where it's like you've got Veterans Day, you got Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas.
holidays?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier of a sell. But the other side of that coin, and as we're finding out, is we get to dodge the regular, oh, we've used all of our inventory / budget. It's the end of the year. We don't have anything left. We can't support this. We hit them in March.
Yeah.
They have a tough, like, well, we really can't really.
It's the
Okay.
beginning of our budget. I can't.
There we'll still get a few like, oh, we just can't. Okay, then just say you can't. So
Right.
I crossed off the list. I won't send you an email in a month. That's fine. Just cool. Instead of
Right.
this, a lot of it is we'll see. I'll get back to you, and then you never hear back, and you have to send repeated emails over and over again. And it's just this fist fight with people to just say yes or no, or just say no. Fine.
Yeah.
Great. Cross that off my list. I don't have to send repeated emails saying, hey, do you want to help the troops this year? And fun.
So it sounds like you've really grown exponentially since you started this.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you want to see you guys in like the next 5 years?
5 years?
Once you get rid of the magic cards.
5 years, Lord knows. This year, again, I've got an idea. We got a pretty big thing we're going to be expanding into, and I can't wait to talk about it. But I just, it's not the right time. We got to get it approved, and we got to get some more bodies behind it. And we need some more studios and developers who want to help out. But I think this could really be a game changer for us in 2014. Between that and forcing myself at gunpoint to get a booth at PAX. Like I'm literally like, because I go to those events, and when this all started, Front Towards Gamer is the father organization of Operation Supply Drop. Oh Lord, I got a phone call. Sorry. Bloop. Front Towards Gamer is the motherland for Operation Supply Drop, where we're like a games news site. Like we put up game guides and different random things like that. And that was my first love, because I started all this because I was a writer. Like I loved writing, and I loved video games, and it just made sense to get involved that way. So when I would go to these events, I would get media badges, and I would do the fake game journalism thing where I'd go to booths and stick my microphone in people's face. Oh, tell us about the pixel shaders and this, like that stuff. But I love that stuff. I love running all over PAX and getting interviews and talking to people about their games, and and getting that access. And almost getting the access is more fun than doing the actual interview. Being able to say, hey, I just had a 45-minute interview with Tim Schafer. It's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So to
Hey, you don't have to tell me. It's why I do this.
right, exactly. That's why right. Like
Yeah.
we're having our 200th episode for Front Towards Gamer Radio, and I'm interviewing for my 100th was Tim Schafer almost 2 years ago. It would have been Broken Age at the time. They had just launched their Kickstarter, or they had just blown everybody out the water with Kickstarter. This year, 200 is Chris Roberts from Cloud Imperium for Star Citizen. And because I grew up on, Wing Commander. That was
Yep.
what a series. So to have that access, to be able to talk to this guy, and then to have the video game angle, and then, oh, by the way, there's this charity angle too, which differentiates us from everybody else. If you don't get him with the one, you usually hit him with it's the 1-2 punch. Either you get the, hey, we'll do the interview, but we can't support you here, or we can't support the charity of the veterans, but we can give you an interview. And it's like, it's very much a symbiotic relationship between the two, because we wouldn't be able to get Operation Supply Drop, despite talking to the ESA, and which I thought was going to be it was another one of those, this is going to be big kind of things, when we were invited to chat with the ESA at E3 this year. And I say we again, I'm talking to me.
Yep.
I sat down with Jenny from the ESA, and she was very kind, and she's like, we love what you guys are doing. We have our own thing, and you're too small for us. We can't work with you yet. You're too small. And it was kind of one of those, ooh, but I'm drinking my milk, and I'll come back, and you'll see. I'll show y'all. So so I look forward to that day. That's the 5-year goal, is to be recognized by the ESA. Was it ESA or ECA? I can't remember. I think it's ESA. Yeah. Electronic software. So yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
They're the ones that run E3. But yeah, without Front Towards Gamer, we would not have access to E3, because the E3 press, or the E3 badge requirements, are much higher than PAX East, PAX Prime, GDC. You can't just be like, I got this website, Like, you really need to be on the ball to get access to that event. But that is where it really happens, like, as far between games journalism and the charity side of thing, because you're not just dealing with the developers, but you're dealing with all the publishers, all the buyers, the sellers, the marketers, everybody, like the guys who are there buying end caps for Walmart. Like, those are the guys. It's like, all right, that's an interesting angle for the charity to come in at. And it just, I just have to switch hats. I just have to be able to switch in and out. But so, yeah, it's I don't even remember what the question was at this point. I just got so
You got into it. No, that's great.
If
great.
you can tell, I can sit here and chatter. So
what do you see yourselves doing? Do you see yourself growing to being, a huge contender in the charity arenas, or do you see yourself branching out into other things other than just video games, maybe other electronics to kind of pass the time, personal electronic devices, anything like that?
We throw in electronic devices. I think PC Gamer's sending us a bunch of tablets and things like that. So we'll throw that in, but it's not going to be like a... When I was at GDC, we tried that angle, and I tried getting a bunch of... Because GDC is not the place where we needed to be at this year, but I wanted to try it and see, like, hey, this is a different angle. So I skipped out on PAX East, which, what a mistake. But like Cintiq tablets, for artists and things like that. So I was like trying to see if we get any donations there, and people were again excited, and they thought it was a great idea, but they just weren't having it. Like, we couldn't make any headway there. So I was like, we'll stick with video games. We'll stick with what we know. This is what guys really want anyway. If some guy downrange gets a Cintiq tablet, it'd be like, okay, what do I do with this thing? I'm not an artist. I don't have a rig in front of me where I could even hook this thing up to, but thanks. I'll make sure I keep this in my kit for when I get home. So again, it comes back to being able to help soldiers deal with, combat stress and PTSD while they're downrange, and video games is the way to do it. I mean, we have been going out of our way to find more and more research about how different organizations are saying video games provide soldiers relief when they are, struggling with PTSD or combat tremors or terrors or things like that. And personally, having dealt with that kind of stuff, because I got back and I was kind of a mess. But video games it's just one of those things. It's like you're so busy thinking about that thing or the meta game. As soon as you turn it off, you're like, all right, well, when I get back, I'm gonna try this, and maybe I couldn't get past this boss now, but I'll come back and do it later. I wasn't thinking about all the other stuff that was associated with it. So we're working on making sure people understand that these aren't just luxury care packages we're sending downrange. This is to help with soldiers who are in need, who need something to keep their minds off what they're doing, and to help soldiers recover, that they don't even know that they're being traumatized doing what they're doing over there. And this is one of those things that's going to help them without taking medication or something like it's just something fun. It's easy to swallow pill format video games. So that's a major stepping stone right there, is trying to get the word out that this is not just a, luxury that we're doing. It's to help these guys as well. And then the big thing is turn this into a real charity where I can do this full time and do nothing but send out emails and call people, and because it gets, when you get that first box from an organization that you had to kick and scream to get their help from, it's really a great feeling. And knowing then and getting those pictures back from the guys who get there, because they don't know what's coming. Like, they have an idea because they've seen the website and they had to put in a request. Right. But when they get it in front of them, because we get so many requests, when they find out that they're getting a box and they find out they're getting a supply drop, and then we get those pictures back and the thank yous, that this is amazing, and it's just it's like, I could just do this if I could do this forever and be happy.
It's rewarding. It's very rewarding.
Absolutely. And it feels good. It feels good to be making an impact. Like, because otherwise, I'm doing my job, my day-to-day job, and it's like, yeah, whatever. And you're helping some other organization's bottom line, and whatever, I don't really care. This is something where we're building it from the ground up. We're making waves. We're making noise. We have a niche. This doesn't exist out there. I think we got something. We just need to keep after it. So... And that's what the next couple of years is just going to be, continuing to. So when I'm going up to people at events, they see the logo, they see the polo, they see where I'm coming from. I don't need to do the whole song and dance. They know where we're coming from. Because when you say Child's Play, it's a foregone conclusion. If you get approached, what is Child's Play? If you generally know what that is at this point. So household name, maybe. I mean, again. The military folks, the folks who support the military, big on the charity. They love it.
Right.
Gamers kind of, you always get a couple screwballs who are like, oh, you're not going to help those American oppressors. They don't need video games. You should help the poor, people that really need it. It's like, okay, yes, I understand. There are many, many, many levels of people that need our help more. And if I sent a box of $3,000 worth of games and stuff to a homeless shelter, sure, that'd be great. But that's not what I was. That's not where I'm coming from. I don't know that lingo. This is the experience that I have. This is a need that needs filling.
It's something that is going to go a long way.
Yeah, exactly. And I know it means a lot to these guys. And it's something that it needs doing, because everybody says that they support the troops and they put yellow ribbon stickers on their minivans and they, wave American flags. Yay! And it's like, what are you really doing? Nothing. It's okay. Right. I understand you want to be a part of this club, but you're not doing it.
This is an easy way.
Right. And this is the lowest common denominator. There's the least amount of effort and calories you have to burn to be a part of this and still say you support the troops. So this is some real supporting of the troops, and it feels damn good. And
awesome.
I encourage everybody to get involved, because it's a lot of fun. You get those pictures back, and we're small enough now where I'm answering pretty much every email and sending out photos to people who have made big donations and going, hey, here's where your stuff went. Like some guy donated a 3DS and he's like, I'd like this to go to this unit because I saw this was going to we sent out some stuff. We had a special forces team in Kandahar that put in a request, and somebody happened to send in a full 3DS and Pokemon X and Y and all that stuff. And he goes, I would like it to go to this special forces unit. And then the pictures came back, and front and center is that 3DS. And it was just like, That's awesome. You couldn't have planned that better. I didn't ask them to do that. So I send them the picture, go, there's your 3DS. It's just like,
That's
there is your donation. And right now
Yep.
we're at a level where we can do that, where if somebody makes a donation and they go, I'd like it to do this. It's not just like, hey, here's $20. Dude,
and
who
you don't
knows?
know where it's
It can
going.
go anywhere. Whereas in this, every dollar counts. Like we're, sending over 70 pounds of anything to Afghanistan is not exactly cheap. And then you got to insure it because we've had packages just wind up gone.
Yeah.
We had a supply drop get blown up outside of, was it Kandahar? It was on its way to Helmand. And a logistics convoy got ambushed, IED'd, and everybody got out okay, but the mail wagon got hit. So all the mail got lost, and we had to put in so we have to get insurance on all that, and $2,500, $3,000 worth of insurance on every pack. I mean,
Oh
it
my
adds up,
gosh.
and then you got to fill
It
up
does.
and then you got to fill up. Guys want the latest and greatest, so we try to fill up wish lists as best we can with the money that we have. So guys are getting what they want, as opposed to, well, we got 26 crates of this game that underperformed that nobody wants. So here they all are. We're trying to make sure they get what they want, because that's a huge part of it too. Because again, a lot of guys, it goes back to the canned yam analogy where it's like, well, here's what we could get, and that's it.
And they
Whatever.
get 1,000 of
Have
the
fun.
same thing.
Right, have fun. Or not even that, but it's just like, well, this isn't really like you got a bunch of C minus D tier games, and it's like, well, this is all right, thanks, I guess. Want to make sure you're getting them your Grand Theft Autos and your, Call of Duty Ghosts and things like that, like the things that they're going to ask for, and make sure we set them up. Like, I can't wait to go shopping next week. It's going to be so much.
No,
Good stuff.
it's super exciting. We're
Yeah,
we're
it's like,
getting
hey,
down.
just going to Best Buy or GameStop. Well, I'll go to GameStop this year if they're making that donation. But I'm going to go to GameStop and be like, I'll take 12 copies of Call of Duty Ghosts for $3.
Yeah,
Just-
be that guy and
It's just like-
feel
and it's-
good about it.
Right, and it's not. And the best thing, it's going onto the charity card, so I'm not really paying for it out of my own pockets. It's like, I'll take 12 of those. Whoop.
Yeah,
And so it's like it's all out of the charity money.
it's
It's a lot of fun.
it is. I'm sure it is. Well, we're getting down to the end of this hour here, and you did bring something for us to give away, right?
We certainly did. Oh, crap.
So this is what I want to do. I'm going to tweet out a link, and for those of you that are watching, I am at Game Gadget Girl on Twitter, and I'm going to tweet out a link to Operation Supply Drop, and all I want you guys to do is just retweet it, and I'm going to randomly choose somebody out of the retweets to receive a code. And what are we giving away tonight?
Okay, we recently had we had donated to us from the fine folks over at Hidden Path Entertainment. It's a Steam code. They sent us 1,000 Steam codes for their game called Defense Grid, and they sent us, it's literally everything they've ever put out for Defense Grid. It's a $20 value, and we've got 1,000 codes, so we will be giving away one tonight. I'm sure they won't mind if we give one away for the, because they're not all going to the troops. We'll give one away
Right.
for giveaways, and then our Veterans Day event, we'll do some for the, the raffles and things like that. So, but yes, we have codes for you. If you got Steam, we got some codes for you.
All right, I'm going to tweet this link out now, guys, and I just want you to kill the retweet button.
Now, what are you
because we want to get the word out here.
Now, what are you tweeting out here? Make sure you hit that 8-bit salute hashtag. That'll be good, so I can make sure.
Yes.
And then, what was the other thing? Make sure you get the link in there for the crowd rise. Maybe if people
Yep.
want to set up teams. Oh, Darth Paige, I see you just posted.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, you are all over it. That is bangarang. You're on it. See if
So hopefully we can get this, and I'm gonna choose somebody. I'll give it as many retweets as we can get until 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's an hour. You guys got an hour to retweet this.
Oh, and by the way, if you're looking for Twitter followers, if you retweet, did you? Okay, I see what happens. If you retweet this, I'll know you're interested in the charity in some way or form, and I'll refollow all of you. I've got 4 accounts. I've got the 8-bit salute. I've got Operation Supply Drop, Front Towards Gamer, and then my personal one, Shanghai 6, which is my handle. So
Fantastic.
get on it, and I'll get you a couple followers too for the. for the price.
Fantastic. Follows and a chance to help the troops. I can't see how that can go wrong in any way.
And I'm
So-
following the page. When
I-
you said I thought this would be like a 10-minute. I'm used to like 10-minute interviews and things like that. So I figured, all right, let's just hop on and off. And here we are an hour later, and it's like, oh, that was an hour. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it goes quick. It goes quick. We had a
Alrighty.
lot to talk about, though. It's great. So we're gonna go ahead and let you go now that we've taken up an hour of your time.
No, perfectly fine. Glad to help.
And I want to see, would you be willing to come back and kind of talk to us about the progress you guys have made in a couple weeks here? Or
Yeah,
after?
absolutely. Because it'll be great. Because right around the holiday times, we'll have all our numbers back. All the big donations will come in. We've got Polygon coming down to take pictures and kind of get an idea of what the event looks like for building out all these supply drops and things like that. So, I mean, we've got a bunch of stuff happening, and all these, like, well, maybe we'll get like those 75 console thing. Like,
Right.
we'll know, we'll have all these answers. They'll all be filled out, and hopefully I'll be able to announce what the hell we're doing for 2014. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed there. I'm really excited, and it'll definitely be a game changer. So
Yeah, we'll get you guys back on here in a couple months here and see where you guys are at. But thank you so much for coming on tonight, and I hope that we can get you guys some exposure and get you where you need to be.
all right, well, fingers crossed, and I certainly appreciate having me on. This has been a lot of fun. Apparently, had a lot to talk about tonight, Paige. So
That's great, though. That's fantastic. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you again next week on Out of the Box.